just to jump into things here, I know your question was you've been carrying a lot of debt and would like to know some strategies to relieve those debts, business loan options, and when is it a good time to apply to a loan? Is there any other context that you want to provide to that?
I think it's sort of tied into cash flow too. And I think so. We've been carrying this debt for a number of years, and we do fairly well with our revenue and our margins. So I think in my head, and I don't know if this is the right strategy, but I think in my head, if we could just get a loan for like 50 grand, it would help us out in terms of moving ahead. And because I've always wanted to have about 20 grand in our account to help with cash flow. I don't know if that's the correct strategy, but that's sort of what I wanted to run by you.
Great question. So like you said, your revenue last 12 months, about $700K, gross profits at 55%, which is really strong, and discretionary earnings at 27%. So you have strong margins, but the cash is low. And the primary reason for the cash being low is basically there's two owners. And so you guys are taking out most of the profits that are coming into the business. That's where the cash is going. Now, like you said, definitely recommend to keep the cash balance to $40,000 at a minimum is kind of the target. What I would recommend. And so what I would recommend is I wouldn't start with looking for a loan first to fix that, because the core of the issue is that the owners are taking out more money.
Yep.
And so if we take out a loan and then you end up distributing that money, that could hurt you on the tax side of things.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this question: what should our percentage be of taking money out for our revenue, for where our revenue is? Is there a standard?
So what I would recommend is get to $40,000 in the bank. Once you have $40,000 in the bank of cash in the bank, then you can take a look at allocating that money towards debt or taking out distribution, but keep it a minimum of 40K. And then anything that's above that, then you can start to distribute or apply towards tackling the debt.
So basically just work on saving that 40 grand.
Yes, sir. That would be my first approach. And then once you have that 40K in the bank, then you can take a look at your different debts that you have and do a debt schedule
reduction.
So look at each debt that you have and what the interest rate on that debt is.
Yep.
And then figure out which one should you tackle first.
Sure.
Basically the one that has the most interest and the highest principal that you're having to pay the most interest on.
Yep.
Tackle that one first and knock that out, do minimum payments on the other ones. And that would be a way to prioritize things.
Great, super.
Now, to improve cash flow, I know you're in Massachusetts, right?
Yep.
So you guys have the 33% limit for deposits. Are you taking 33%, the maximum?
We usually take 50%.
Are you taking 50%?
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
but actually, I shouldn't. No, let me backtrack. On some jobs we take 50%. On some we just take a third, and then we try to get a payment on after the first day.
So you're doing it interior jobs, you're taking 50%, and then exterior you're taking 33. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because they have that exception for interior. Gotcha. That makes sense. Cool. So you're taking the maximum amount.
Right.
And are you doing a progress payment for the jobs that are doing a third down?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. The other thing we've done is we've looked at working with some subcontractors to do our exterior work, and then just have our staff do our interior work where they're specialized at. So I think that will help with some of our tax payments.
That makes sense. And then the subs, are you going to put in their contract to pay that they don't get paid until after you're paid?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Well, that will also help with the cash flow to make sure you get paid first, then they get paid. So that makes sense.
Right.
Plus, it aligns their incentives.
Yes.
They only get paid once you're paid, so they want to make sure they're done right.
Yep. And we price that out basically at 50% gross profit on them. So that works out pretty well.
Nice. 50% gross profit. Sounds good. Awesome. Now, as far as applying for a loan, when to do it, I would say, what I said before, which is focus on improving the cash flow situation for you. If you did want to have some sort of loan or line of credit as a backup, I especially like lines of credit, because you don't have to draw on it. You could just in case, as a backup, if something does happen and for whatever reason you do go through all of your emergency cash that you already have stored, that 40,000, you do have another backup for the line of credit.
Right.
But I would try not to use it, but it's there if you need it. And I know you have a long-term relationship with a bank you've been banking with for a while.
Yeah.
So I would start with them and ask if they have a line of credit options for businesses.
Okay.
But I would first try to get the cash balance in your business up before asking for that. You have really good profit margins. I would just keep some cash in there so they don't question that and get
I think that's a good idea.
Right.
That's a real good idea. I think if we get our debt down with that cash and then we go to them, I think it would be a lot easier.
Right.
You know? Okay. That makes sense. That's good. Good. Awesome.
Cool. Any other questions or anything you want to dig into? A little bit of time?
Not right now, but I'm sure I'll have more. So I really appreciate you doing this. This is excellent.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Good. Well,
cool.
Thanks for all your help and all your work. We're working with Min, and he's been great. So we really appreciate it.
I'm happy that it's working well with Min. Cool.
Cheers.
Have a good one. Take it easy.
All right. Bye.